Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to do my series, the spirits, the different type of spirits in the Bible, and this spirit we'll be talking about is death. Okay, I got 20 pages, okay? This is the second page, so y'all bear with me, your Lord Jesus, okay? This is titled Veneration, Veneration of the dead. The veneration of the dead, including one's ancestors, is based on love and respect for the deceased. See? Hear that? Listen to that song by my baby daddy, Bray. Living Dead Girl. He said that in the beginning. In some cultures, it is related to beliefs that the dead have a continued existence and may possess the ability to influence the fortune of the living. Some groups venerate their direct familial ancestors. Certain sects and religions, in particular the Eastern Orthodox Church and Roman Catholic Church, venerate saints as intercessors with God, which is like Gina and Shanice, Marjane, and O'Brien, okay? The latter also, or idols too. The latter also believes in prayer for departed souls and purgatory. Other religious groups, however, consider veneration of the dead to be idolatry and a sin. In European, Asian, African, and Afro-Dippo cultures, the goal of ancestor veneration is to ensure the ancestor continue well-being and positive disposition towards the living, and sometimes to ask for special favors or assistance. The social or non-religious function of ancestors venerated is to cultivate kinship values, see, your ancestor money shit, such as filial piety, family loyalty, and continuity of the family lineage, see. Ancestor veneration occurs in society with every degree of social, political, and technological complexity, and remains an important component of various religious practices in modern times. Ancestor reverence is not the same as the worship of a deity or deities. In some Afro-Dippo cultures, Afrodiasporic cultures, ancestors are seen as being able to intercede on behalf of the living, often as messengers between humans and God. As spirits who were once humans themselves, they were seen as being better able to understand human needs than would a divine being. In other cultures, the purpose of ancestors' veneration is not to ask for favors, but to do one's filial duty. Some cultures believe that their ancestors actually need to be provided for by their descendants, and their practices include offerings of food and other provisions. I mean, I do that though, but they really want, my family lineage, we want justice. That's what we want, okay, for the Most High and us. Well, we is sinners, but you know what I mean, right? Others do not believe that their ancestors are even aware of what their descendants do for them, but that the expression of filial piety, Filialpc, is what is important. Most cultures who practice ancestor veneration do not call it ancestor worship. In English, the word worship loosely but not always refers to the reverent love and devotion according a deity, god, or god. However, in other cultures, this act of worship does not confer any beliefs that the departed ancestors have become some kind of deity. Rather, the act is a way to express filial duty, devotion, and respect, and look after ancestors in their afterlife, as well as seek their guidance for their living descendants. In this regard, many Christian religions have similar practices. Some may visit the graves of their parents or other ancestors, leave flowers and pray to them in order to honor and remember them, while also asking their ancestors to continue to look after them. However, However, this will not be considered as worshiping them, since the term worship may not always convey such meaning in the exclusive and narrow context of certain Western European Christian traditions. In that sense, the phrase ancestor veneration may, but from the limited perspective of certain Western European Christian traditions, convey a more accurate sense of what practitioners such as the Chinese and other Buddhist influence society, as well as the African and European cultures see themselves as doing. This is consistent with the meaning of the word veneration. In English, that is great respect or reverence caused by the dignity, wisdom, or dedication of a person. Although there is no generally accepted theory concerning the origins of ancestor veneration, this social phenomenon appears in some form in all human cultures documented so far. David Barrett and Carney claim that ancestor veneration may have served a group coordination role during human evolution, which we could be in right now. And thus is what the mechanism that led to religious representation, fostering group coherence. Okay, this is a different type of culture that different people do. Okay, they say West and Southeast African cultures. Okay, so it could be for us. I don't know. Ancestor veneration is prevalent throughout Africa, and serves, cause we African American. Okay. And serves as the basic of many religions. It is often augmented by belief in a supreme being, but prayers and or sacrifices are loosely offered to the ancestors, who may ascend to becoming a kind of minor deity themselves. Ancestors veneration remains among many Africans, sometimes practiced alongside the later adoption religion of Christianity, as in Nigeria among the Lagbo people, and Israel. Yeah, Grandma is a Nigerian. I knew it. Okay. Among the different Mandi people and the Bamoun and the Bokisi people and such of the continent, in Orthodox Syrian religion, the Panagu is venerated by the Syrian people. Okay, this is Asian culture. During Pecan Bean and the Cambodian New Year, people make offerings to their ancestors. Pashan Bean is a time when many Cambodians pay their respects to deceased relatives of up to 7 generations. Monks chant the Satar in Pali language overnight, continuously without sleeping, in prelude to the gates of hell opening, an event that is presumed to occur once a year and is linked to the cosmology, like that male galaxy. Okay, there is 2 male gala ones. The first one is the coat, and the second one is this type shit. Yes, okay. Cause the first night for Met Gala, that how my party got crashed. Cause they were coming for me and my people, people at the club, at the party or whatever. And then, then the next day we had ours type shit. So yeah, okay. So that's kind of what I'm saying right there. Cosmology of King Lama originated in the Pali Canon. During this period, the gates of hell are open and ghosts of the dead, preta, are presumed to be especially active. In order to combat this, food offerings are made to benefit them. Some of those ghosts having the opportunity to end their period of purgation, where others were imagined to leave hell temporarily. Yeah, that could be for me, I'm just playing. To then return to endure more suffering without much explanation. I mean, I'm all right in the middle, I just don't play about my food or my money in the middle, you know what I'm saying? Okay, without many explanation, relatives who are not in hell, who are in heaven or otherwise reincarnated, are also generally imagined to benefit from the ceremonies. In China, ancestor veneration and ancestor worship seek to honor and recollect the actions of the deceased. They represent the ultimate homage to the dead. The importance of paying respect to parents and elders lies with the fact that all physical bodily aspects of one being were created by one's parents, who continue to tend to one's well-being until one was a firm footing. The respect and homage to parents is to return this gracious deed to them in life and after the corpse personator. Okay, so bodysuits. With the Zhou dynasty, sacrificial representative of a dead relative. Okay, a lot of people came to me, told me about this, that people were actually dressing up as their family member and living with them type shit. During a Shi ceremony, the ancestral spirits supposedly would enter the personator, who would eat and drink sacrificial offerings and convey spiritual messages. if there's somebody in your fucking bodysuit, the bodysuit is talking to you. Like my son, Jeremiah. It was somebody in my son's bodysuit, but he was still singing to his mama, singing to me. So yes, okay. But yeah. In tradition, Chinese culture, sacrifices are sometimes made to altars as food for the deceased. This falls under the modes of communication with the Chinese spiritual world concepts. Some of the veneration includes visiting the deceased at their graves and making or burying offerings for the deceased in the spring, autumn, and ghost festivals. Due to the hardships of the late 19th and 20th century China, when meat and poultry were difficult to come by, some religious feasts are still offered in some Asian countries as a practice to the spirits or ancestors. You know, like, just watch movies, y'all. Watch scary movies. Watch them old scary movies. Like, when people used to hide in their fucking houses and shit. The demons out here, they can't get you in your house. And they know the Most High gonna be in the house with you chilling. Like, they not gonna do that. That's what it means by that. However, in the Orthodox Togists and Buddhist rituals, only vegetarian food will suffice. For those with deceased in the afterlife or hell, evaporate or even create offerings such as servants, refrigerators, houses, cars, paper, money, and shoes, are provided so that the deceased will be able to have the items after they have died. Often, paper versions of the objects are burned for the same purpose. Originally, real-life objects were buried with the dead. True. With me in this damn mirror, okay? Like, I made my own people up in this bitch. Like, I can go to the grocery store. You know, but y'all still gotta give me some money, though. I'm gonna go to the store without me getting some money, you know? Type shit. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck she do? Type shit. Anyways, in time, these goods were replaced by full-size clay models, which in turn were replaced by scale models. And in time, today's paper offerings include paper servants. I got that shit in the mirror, okay? Well, you gotta call me out so I can, make some money and shit. Okay. Ancestors are widely revered, honored, and venerated in India. The spirit of a dead person is called Pishris, which is venerated. When a person dies, the family observes a 13-day mourning period, generally called Sarada, a year dance. They observe the ritual of Tapan, in which the family makes offerings to the deceased. During the rituals, the family prepares the food items that the deceased liked and offer food to the deceased. They offer this food to crows as well on certain days, as they believe that the soul comes in the form of a bird to taste it. They are also obligated to offer Sawadai, a small feast of Pacific preparation, to eligible Bahims. Only after the rituals are the family members allowed to eat. I'm not dead. I'm living in the city of the dead. Shit, I don't know how to explain it. It is believed that this reminds the ancestral spirit that they are not forgotten and are loved, so it brings them peace. On Saturday, people pray that the souls of ancestors be appeased, forget any animosity, and find peace. Each year on a particular date, as per the Hindu calendar, when the person had died, the family members repeat the ritual. Indian and Chinese practices of ancestors worship are prevalent throughout Asia as a result of the large Indian and Chinese population in countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and everywhere else across the continent. Furthermore, the large Indian population in places such as Fiji and Guyana have resulted in the practices spreading beyond the Asian homeland. The Aham religion is based on ancestor worship. The Aham believe that a man after his death remains as Dam, ancestor, only for a few days, and soon he becomes Fi, God. They also believe that the soul of a man, which is in mortal unity with the Supreme Soul, possesses the qualities of a spiritual being and always blesses the family. So even Aham family, in order to worship the dead, establish a pillar on the opposite side of the kitchen, Bakai, which is called Damatu, where they worship the dead with various offerings like homemade wine, mai rice with various items of meat and fish. Midam Mipi, a ritual centered on commemorating the dead, is celebrated by the Aham people on 31st January. Every year in the memory of the departed. It is the manifestation of the concept of ancestor worship that the Aham shared with other peoples originated from the Taishan stock. It is a festival to show respect to the departed ancestors, remember their contribution to society. On the day of Midam Mafi, worship is offered only to Shafu and Dam Shafu because they are regarded as gods of heaven. Okay. North America. In the United States and Canada, flowers, wreaths, grave decorations, and sometimes candles, food, small pebbles, or items the dead valued in life are put on graves year-round as a way to honor the dead. These traditions originated in the diverse cultural backgrounds of the current population of both countries. In the United States, many people honor deceased loved ones who was in the military on Memorial Day. Days with religious and spiritual significance like Easter, Christmas, Candlemas, and All Souls Day, Day of the Dead, or Samhain, that's a good movie too, Day of the Dead, or also times when relatives and friends of the deceased may gather at the graves of their loved ones. In the Catholic Church, one's local parish church often offer praise for the dead on their death anniversaries of All Souls Day. In the United States, Memorial Day is a federal holiday for remembering the deceased men and women who served in the nation's military, particularly those who died in war, or everybody that got killed by the coat, they died in war, okay? Or during after services. In the 1407 national cemeteries like Arlington and Gettysburg, it is common for volunteers to place small American flags at each grave. Memorial Day is traditionally observed on the last Monday in May, allotting for a 3-day weekend in which many memorial services and parades take place not only across the country, but in 26 American cemeteries on foreign soils in French, Belgium, the United Kingdom, the Philippines, Panama, Italy, Liverpool, Mexico, Netherlands, and Tunisia. It is also common practice among veterans to memorialize fallen service members on the dates of their death. This practice is also common in other countries when remembering Americans who died in battles to liberate their towns in the world wars. One example of this is on 16 August 1944, Colonel Griff died of wounds from enemy action sustained in Levis. The same day he is credited with saving Chartres Cadre from destruction. Islam had a complex and mixed view on the idea of grave shrines and ancestor worships. The graves of many early Islamic figures or holy sites for Muslims include Allah and a cemetery with many companions and other kafir. Many other Muslim or major architectural, political, and cultural sites, including the National Museum in Pakistan and the Taj Mahal in India. However, the religious movement of Rabi disputes the concept of saint veneration. Followers of this movement have destroyed many grave site shrines, including in Saudi Arabia and in territory controlled by the Islamic State. Ahmed Hamid Akam and others narrated about Marwan Ahmed Akam, an unjust ruler that he once passed by the grave of the Prophet and saw a man with his sheik on the grave of the Prophet. Marwan Ahmed asked, "Do you know what you're doing? Nearing the grave." Marwan Ahmed Akam realized it was Abu, one of the greatest companions of the Prophet. Okay, what I'm doing, I came here for the messenger of Allah, not for the stone. By this he meant he was seeking the blessings from the presence of the Prophet, not for the stone covering his grave. Continued his response with what he heard the messenger of Allah say: "Do not cry over the religion of Islam if the rulers are ruling correctly. Rather cry over this religion if the rulers are ruling incorrectly." By his response was telling Marwan Hakam, "You are not one of those rulers who are correctly ruling by the rules of Islam." Some followers of Islam are at odds with the concept of saint veneration, but this practice is retained in Turkey, particularly through Alevi Muslims. The Most High got me working, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Not really. Ancient cultures. I gotta do what the Most High want me to do. Ancient cultures. Ancestor worship was a prominent feature of many historic societies. Although some historians claim that ancient Egyptian society was a death cult because of elaborated tombs and mummification rituals, it was the opposite. The philosophy that this world is but a veil of tears, and that to die and be with God is a better existence than an earthly one with relatives unknown among the ancient Egyptians. What I be saying? This was not to say that they was acquainted with the hardness of life. Rather, their ethos include a sense of continuity between this life and the next. See, that's why the people got to get free from the meter. Or they're gonna take all them spirits from the meter and eat on them forever. Like they're gonna be with them for eternity. You know, they were not okay. The Egyptian people loved the culture, customs, and religion of their daily lives so much that they wanted to continue them in the next. Although some might hope for a better station in the beautiful rest Egyptian afterlife. Tombs were housing in the hereafter, and so they were carefully constructed and decorated, just as homes for the living were. Mummification was a way to preserve the corpse so the soul, K.A., soul of the deceased could return to receive offerings of the things she enjoyed while alive. The mummification was not affordable. A cast statue in the likeness of the deceased was carved for this purpose. The blessed dead were collectively called the Ahu, or shining ones, AKH. They were described as shiny as gold in the belly of Nut, and was indeed depicted as golden stars on the roof of many tombs and temples. The process by which a Ka become an Aka was not an automatic upon death. It involves a 70-day journey through the Di or other worlds which led to judgment before Risa. Lord of the Dead, where the cohort will be rated on a scale against the Father of Matter, representing fools. However, the Ka was not properly prepared. This journey could be fraught with dangerous pitfalls and strange demons. Yeah, you ain't lying. Hence, some of the earliest religious texts discovered such as the Papyrus of Ani, commonly known as the Book of the Dead, and the pyramid texts was actually written as guides to help the deceased successfully navigate the Di. If the heart was in balance with the feathers of Ma'at, the Ka passed judgment and was granted access to the beautiful rest as an Akka who was Mahu, who were voiced to the real among the gods and other Ahu. I'm ready. At this point, only was the Ka deemed worthy to be venerated by the living through rites and offerings. Those who become lost in the doubt or deliberately try to avoid judgment became the unfortunate, sometimes dangerous, Mutu, the realest dead. For the few who truly evil hearts already the feathers, the goddess Amit waited patiently behind Risa's judgment seat to consume them. She was a composite creature resembling three of the deadliest animals in Egypt: the crocodile, the hippo, and the lion. Being fed to Amit was to be consigned to the eternal void to be unmade as a Ka. Besides being eaten by Amit, the worst fate a Ka could suffer after physical death was to be forgotten. For this reason, ancestor veneration in ancient Egypt was an important rite of remembrance in order to keep the Ka alive, in this life as well as the next. Warriors, nobles, and the wealthy made contracts with their local priests to perform prayers and give offerings at their tombs. In return, the priests were allowed to keep a portion of the offerings as payments for the service rendered. Some tomb inscriptions even invite passers-by to speak aloud the names of the deceased within, which also help to perpetuate their memory and to offer water, prayer, or other things if they so desire. In the private homes of the less wealthy, niches were carved in the walls for the purpose of housing images of familiar Ahu and to serve as altars of veneration. Before I left my old house, there was the Illuminati sign on my bathroom wall, y'all, by my tub, and it had the eye in it. It was like a pyramid. It was like a triangle pyramid. It had like the eye in it. I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell that shit come here? Like, it just got created in my wall. Many of these same religious beliefs and ancestor veneration practices are still carried on today in the religion of Kemet Orthodoxy. Okay? So this is part 2 of the spirit of the dead, okay? Death, okay? I got 18 more to go now. Be back.